evening and welcome to the weekend news. I am Coach Kwafo. We must apologize for the late start as we were experiencing some technical difficulties. However, coming up in this edition of the weekend news, a mysterious fire engulfs the famous cotton tree located in central Freetown. The church members launched the new Living Word International Church in Freetown, and residents of George Brook Dwazak appeal for the expansion of the community water projects to enhance water supply. All these stories and more are lined up in tonight's edition of the Weekend News. And now for the first story, the newly established Living Word International Church has been officially launched at the B&S Hilltop, back of Old School Community, on the theme, I Will Build My Church. The launch ceremony was witnessed by clergymen and women in Freetown. Eric Lahai Bangura witnessed the ceremony and he filed in this report read by Suriba.
The launching of the Living Word International Church was witnessed by different denominations, including clergy, well-wishers, relatives, family members, and friends. In his sermon, the guest preacher from the Abide in Christ Evangelistic Ministry, Silvanus Leslie Mbaova, thanked Pastor Solomon Mansari and team for their efforts to coordinate the establishment of the Living Word International Church in Sierra Leone. He encouraged them to continue the good work. Speaking on the theme, I Will Build My Church, Silvanus Mbaova said that the establishment of the Living Word International Church in Freetown comes at the right time and at the right place. He added that residents in this community have been prepared to support the dream of the visioneer.
This place is the right place for this purpose. It's the right place for this purpose. Hallelujah. So all what I want to encourage you people that are under the sound of my voice, I'm not here to preach. I'm just like here to encourage you. I'm here to ginger you up. I'm here to like impact your life. I'm here to open your eyes of understanding to realize that, cooperating with this man of God, rallying around him is not a mistake.
He called on the congregation to support the ministry with prayers and service to the Lord with joy and gladness. Pastor Solomon Mansari, the pastor in charge of the Living Word International Church, explained more about the establishment of the church.
God say it is time. I don't want the problem like Jonah. When I know what you pass with Jonah, now who knows to Jonah? But let man sleep inside fish belly 3 days. Not an easy thing. I don't want this for. I want to be obedient. I'm still maturing anyway in terms of church business. But I know the God who called me will sustain me.
Pastor Solomon assured the gathering that the church is accommodating and its doctrine based on the Word of God. The launching and dedication was done by various clergies from different denominations.
It will be a divine craving inside of you. And God will give you the grace to see that accomplished in Jesus' mighty name. Amen.
The High Commissioner of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to Sierra Leone, Dr. Habis Ibrahim Ugbada, has reaffirmed his country's commitment to strengthening the bilateral cooperation between the two countries. He made this assurance during a courtesy call on the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Dr. Ali Kaba. Hawana Tubagura reports.
Thank you. Good to see you again. How are you? Thank you so much.
The two envoys discussed several issues aimed at enhancing the existing bilateral relations and furthering cooperation on multilateral issues. They further emphasized the need to cooperate on issues of common interest, particularly on economic development. They underscored the significance of broadening their engagements and scaling up cooperation in areas such as trade, health, and education. Welcoming the Nigerian High Commissioner, Dr. Ali Kaba underscored the significance of his visit, which is aimed at further broadening and deepening the existing bilateral and multilateral relations between the two countries. He lauded the contributions of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in enhancing the socio-economic development of the country, particularly following the recent official visit of President Julius Maada Bio to Nigeria. He dilated on the long-standing bilateral relations between the two countries, spanning for decades. The High Commissioner of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to Sierra Leone, Dr. Abis Ibrahim Ubada, extended fraternal greetings and best wishes to President Julius Maada Bio while congratulating Dr. Ali Kaba on his recent appointment as Sierra Leone's Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation. He said his visit is to further broadening and deepening the existing bilateral relations and to reaffirm their commitment to agreements reached between the Federal Republic of Nigeria and Sierra Leone.
The Senior Director for Education, Global Practice in the World Bank has reinforced the bank's commitment to supporting access to quality education in early childhood, primary and secondary education. Jim Saavedra is also in the country to discuss government financing policy for education, skills development and the implementation of the Human Capital Project by the World Bank. We'll now bring you excerpts of his statements to journalists.
Of this new government of investing in education in terms of financial resources, but also in terms of putting the implementation capacity that is needed in order to deliver a better service. The announced policy of free quality education is something that we see as a critical element of providing good quality education for all. And actually that's the path that all developing countries are taking now, is the growth process of the country. We are now, the World Bank has been very active in the education front. Recently we have had a report last year about the status of education in the world, and one key message that we had is that the world is facing a learning crisis, in the sense that there has been improvements in education globally. More kids are in school, but many of the kids who are in school are not learning, right? And we do see the magnitude of the problem is large enough that we can say that it's a learning crisis that we are facing in all regions of the world, of the developing world. One in the case of sub-Saharan Africa, that problem is very large. Right? The percentage of students who do not have attained the fundamental skills, the basic skills of reading and writing, is extremely high. So that is a problem for the whole continent, and actually, it is a challenge also for Sierra Leone. And the important thing is that the government is recognizing that there is a huge challenge there.
Part of Freetown has been reportedly engulfed by a mysterious fire. The cause of the fire baffled onlookers and residents around the area. SLBC's Judge Lewis was at the scene, and he sent us this report.
Residents of the Central Business District and passers-by were shocked as to what the real cause of the fire with thick smoke which darkened the vicinity was. Superstition enjoys common acceptance among a considerable percentage of the country's population. Those representing that segment of the population are with the view that the dark smoke on the historic giant tree is an omen, believing it to be spiritual. However, none of them could give details of their claims on camera. But one thing that is clear here is that the cotton tree has been an ecological niche for mad people, some of whom do smoke cigarettes and carry other flammable materials with them. But it does not still suffice to clearly accuse them either for the cause of the fire at the cotton tree. Hence, the cause of the fire that caught the tree remains unknown as at present time. The fire was not only shocking to the neighborhood, but attracted the attention of government. The Deputy Minister of Internal Affairs, Lahai Lawrence Lima, described the incident as a mystery.
Thankfully enough, I met the National Fire Force, which has now put the Faro tree out, and police and soldiers are around. I have just been briefed by the commander at Tawahir that somebody was also giving a very sensitive information regarding the fire, that he has seen this fire since this afternoon. So they have handed him over to the police for investigation or certain questions for us to have the sense as to how the fire incident actually came about. Because a fire incident of this nature requires an investigation, and that is more the reason why I have been informed of somebody who has actually given us a clue as to when, in fact, he has seen this fire incident, but without reporting it. And I have also been informed that the individual is now at CID headquarters to help the police with investigation. I will also try to verify whether the person is actually there helping the police with investigation.
The smolder was put out by the National Fire Force, who came in to prevent further threat to the neighborhood. The cotton tree is being commonly referred to as Freetown's historic symbol and the city's most famous landmark. Nobody is sure how old the cotton tree is, but it is known to have existed before 1462, when Pedro da Center, a Portuguese explorer, visited what is known today as Sierra Leone. According to some sources, the cotton tree is about 500 years old. It is believed that when a group of former African slaves got their freedom and landed in Freetown and apparently rested and prayed underneath the shade of the tree. Today, the cotton tree is seen as a historic symbol of not only Freetown but Sierra Leone as a whole. The puzzling smolder over the famous Freetown cotton tree leaves mixed feelings among Freetown residents. Some people believe that environmental experts must come up with an explanation of what ignited the fire. Others suggest that government should institute an investigation to ascertain the cause of fire, which borders on the safety of residents and users of the roads around the tree. An action is just needed, whatever, to save the historic cotton tree from intruders wanting to destroy it.
The World Animal Protection of Africa has said that by 2030, rabies should be eliminated and the adoption of a holistic dog population management in the country. The country director, World Animal Protection Africa, Tennessee Williams, made the disclosure to journalists in a press conference held at the Ministry of Agriculture's Ye Building office. It was organized by the National Livestock and Animal Welfare Rabies Control Task Force together with the World Animal Protection. Ibrahim Samora reports.
Of the cities in Africa with the highest number of stray dogs. This has led the Sierra Leone Animal Welfare Society, together with the World Animal Protection Organization, to tackle the issue of stray dogs and rabies by 2030. At a news conference in Freetown, Country Director World Animal Protection Africa, Tennessee Williams, told journalists that Sierra Leone has over 200,000 dogs, a greater percentage of them roaming the streets. He said the National Livestock and Animal Welfare Rabies Control Task Force, in collaboration with the World Animal Protection Organization, engaging the Ministries of Health, Agriculture, Education and the judiciary to come up with an action plan to implement the National Rabies Elimination Strategy launched in 2017.
We lobby and advocate by working with governments to influence policy change that will ensure animals have a life worth living. We educate and mobilize. Through that, we sensitize the general public on the importance of animal welfare and why it matters to animals and humans. Last but not least, we catalyze sustainable solutions by upscaling local solutions that improves the welfare of animals. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, from our Africa offices in Kenya, Nairobi, we work with other stakeholders to educate people through the media, and that's why we are having this press conference, public forums, and trainings to create a firm understanding on the need to protect animals across the continent.
His organization, Mr. Williams said, has been working with the task force since 2014 to come up with a national rabies elimination strategy, noting that globally they found the most effective ways to protect animals in communities by working with governments to manage dog populations humanly and to vaccinate them against rabies. Director of the Sierra Leone Animal Welfare Society, Dr. Abel Godosh Jallo, stressed the need to protect animals.
Meaning that we have to look after animals. For people who, sometimes you see somebody carrying chickens by their legs with the head down. Is that animal welfare? No. And the most interesting, it seems that everybody knows what animal welfare is. As long as we are human beings, we look after humans. Human welfare, so as is the animal welfare. And normally, when you have an animal, a goat, a sheep, a dog, if you look after the hen well, the goat well, then you will get good body condition, you will get more meat, you will get more money for that animal.
According to the Sierra Leone Animal Welfare Society, over 100 people died annually for dog bites, and in 2018, 7 deaths have been reported out of 600 cases of dog bites. Eliminating rabies by 2030 for Sierra Leone in particular was viewed by other speakers as a challenge, as the country can only boast of 5 veterinary doctors against the estimated 250,000 dogs in the country.
Well, this is the weekend news coming to you live from the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation. Now, since many people cannot afford to buy food in restaurants, they prefer to eat rice in local shops, as we call them, cookery bathers, in various communities. Well, this is a trade that is dominated mostly by women, and some of them have been in it for several years. Sheila Reffel visited one of those shops at Aberdeen, and she tells us how business is going.
Mary Kamara is a cookery seller who has been in the business for more than 17 years. She succeeded her mother in this trade. Through this trade, she has been able to raise her 4 children, and some of them are now in higher institutions of learning. I learned to be a good cook when attending school. At that time, I used to assist my mother in the kitchen. I found this trade to be rewarding, and I enjoy doing it. I'm a single mother, as my husband died when my children are still very young. But with this cookery trade, I am okay. I started small, but now I thank God. My advice to fellow women in this business is to be focused, as with this trade, they can make it.
Therefore, avoid millet. Once, if you want to stand firm, if you're not here, can go put in and concentrate one inside.
When I started this business, cookery was sold at 500 leons a plate. Nowadays, if you want to have a good plate, the ticket is 10,000 leons.
Now, how the country because today, my mama their own days, where they me dey this war, still they not be there so. Still not be there so. One night they go church one great fish, and they tell you say 80,000, 70,000.
Customers of Mary Kamara say she is a good cook.
I've been eating at Mary's cookery shop for several years now. She's a decent woman. She knows how to cajole customers.
Cookery business for Mary is a life career, and according to her, as long as she remains healthy and strong, she will remain in the trade.
The Assistant Superintendent of Police James Tairu, attached to the Bunumbu Police Post in the Peja West Chiefdom, Kailaon District, has said that sexual penetration on girls under the age of 18 is on the increase in that part of the country. ASP Tairu, who was speaking to SLBC's Maya Masuma, said that lack of permanent structure as a police post is hindering their work. The police are using the community barrier as a police post, and their work is sometimes disrupted when community activities have been held in the barrier. He has been explaining more to Madam Masuma.
Security issues here is a challenge, it's a big challenge on my side because in the first place, we don't have a permanent structure for police officers to execute their lawful duties. We are using the community barrier wherein we don't have the office space even for detention or for even our official work. So we are using the community barrier. Sometimes when community have problem, they have to come to us to excuse them so that they have their meetings. Sometimes even on Sundays, there are church programs, so it is like Sundays normally we don't even have police duties except until after 12 when churches are over. We have been in this position since after the war. There have been no police permanent structure in this place since after the war. So there's a bigger constraint here in terms of policing. They have assaults and fraudulent conversions wherein people obtain money from people either for produce of cuckoo, because here is a cuckoo-dominated area. So we have similar problems like that, except on very rare cases where we have serious offenses, felonious offenses like housebreaking and larceny, burglary and larceny. But it is very rare here, particularly sexual penetration, wherein children under 18, people are used to tamper with them. We have series of matters like that, and when we have matters like that, it is normally sent to either Shekwima, where we have bigger station, or Bunumbu, or Daru police station, where we have the divisional headquarters. Our priority here as a post commander here is to get a permanent structure for police officers. Bunumbu here is a strategic place. We deal with matters from other chiefdoms besides Peja West here. We have matters from Yahweh Chiefdom bordering Kono district. We have matters from Peja Bongre, that is Manoa, and then Penguia Chiefdom, and even part of Kenema district. We have series of matters because of the strategic location of Bunumbu. So I'm appealing to authorities concerned to help the police to get a permanent structure here so that our manpower will be increased so that we can get rid of offenses that are more prominent in this community.
The Media Initiative for Women and Girls has held an interactive engagement for girls who intend to make journalism their career. Challenges facing female journalists in Sierra Leone were discussed in the session. The interactive session was held at the Harry Ansane Hall on Campbell Street in Freetown. Daphne Kiba-Macaulay has the story.
There has been growing interest from young girls in Sierra Leone to enter the field of journalism. Female journalists like Asma James, Adam Asila and Nikki Spencer-Coker have inspired many young girls in Sierra Leone to join the profession. These young girls seem determined to join the profession amidst numerous challenges women in the media are faced with. When interacting with the girls, Asma James, who is also the station manager of Radio Democracy, said she started off as a freelance journalist and rose through the ranks. Mrs. James encouraged the girls to be persistent as being a female journalist in Sierra Leone comes with a lot of challenges. The station manager for Radio Democracy says the girls should be focused if they want to attain managerial positions in the profession. She said she has been defamed several times but has been strong enough to keep a straight face as she is determined to succeed and make a mark. She told the girls that they should be prepared emotionally for issues like sexual harassment and intimidation by their male counterparts. Nikki Spencer-Coker, who also doubles as a barrister, told the girls to be steadfast in their studies as that is what will make them stand out among their male counterparts in the profession. The girls were stunned to learn that a barrister can also be a radio presenter. Tanu Jallo, a lecturer at Farabe College, was the only male journalist at the interactive session. He said these household names have in various ways made an impact in the lives of many Sierra Leoneans, including the Executive Director and National Coordinator of Media Initiative for Women and Girls Empowerment, Adam Asila. Her organization, Media Initiative for Women and Girls Empowerment, is for young people to interact with their mentors and share ideas on ways to conquer intimidation, sexual harassment, and how to uphold credibility in the profession. The theme of the interactive session is Young Women Breaking Barriers and Harnessing Their Full Potentials. Amnata Salu Kamara explains why she has chosen journalism as a career.
It has been my passion ever since I was a kid to be a journalist, because most of the times I watch CNN and also I watch Star TV, I listen to different radio stations. I see women out there who have so much passion, who are willing to help others to their way of talking, to writing, all of those things just motivate me the more. But I really do want to be a journalist.
Media organizations like Women in the Media and the Sierra Leone Association of Journalists have also made an impact in the lives of many young people. For SLBC News, Daphne Kimo Macaulay reporting.
Samuel Colombo is an Italian musician who has identified Sierra Leone as his second home and has released a new video showcasing the beauty of Sierra Leone. Well, for more on this, let's now join entertainment producer Mohammed King Milan Bangura.
My real friends, they don't look to your money, they don't found the French money.
Samuel Colombo is an Italian musician who has identified Sierra Leone as a second home. Samuel was born on the 7th of October 1995 in Milan, Italy. He studied law and communications. Samuel is the chief executive officer and founder of the West African Corporation with a head office in England. A good love for music way back as a child and was a member of an Italian band group called Real Friends. Presently, Samuel is in England, and from where he answers a few questions on his musical career.
At first, I want to say thank you to all of you. I want to say thank you to SLBC. I want to say hi to everybody, my great brothers and sisters in Sierra Leone. So who is Samuel Colombo? Samuel Colombo is just an international upcoming artist, singer and songwriter.
Colombo first came to Sierra Leone in 2014, and the first thing that attracted him is the richness of Sierra Leonean music. Fode, popularly known as DJ White Boy, who is also his manager, was opportune to be with him when he first arrived in the country.
Well, previously
Well, I came to know Samuel Colombo in 2014. That was my first experience being with him. Yeah, I listened to a song by one of our hottest and biggest female artists, that's Zizi. At that time, you know, Fire, and Samuel Colombo was interested in it. Later he told me he's a musician. I said, wow. For real? I said, I think you've met with the right person. Colombo fell in love with Sierra Leone and decided to embrace it as a second home. But why?
That's why right now I'm promoting myself, but even I'm trying to do my best to attract the right people and investors on this new era of the world that is Sierra Leone, full of beautiful places, great and talented people. I want they start to look at the talents in this particular area of the world, so I can attract investors for music and tourism as well.
So, okay, Samuel Colombo,
Now, Colombo is planning to release an album, and most of his songs were recorded in Sierra Leone. Recently, he released a brand new music video titled Forever With Me, featuring a young talented singer M. Posh, and the video clip featured Nadia, a one-time Miss Tourism. The video of the song showed sights from different parts of the country. On this, Colombo says,
in this particular video, I even want to show complicity in simplicity. I want to show there is possible a true love between a white man and a black woman, without false interest, a love not based on money.
With this video and more of his songs around the country, How will Sierra Leonean populace be able to hold a copy of his album, especially when he's away? Presently, Samuel is working very hard for his songs and videos to reach at the top. Very soon he'll be expected. I won't be able to say when now, but very soon he'll be expected. I'm expecting him from now to January.
My home government wants you to execute this job.
Patriot is a movie produced in America by Cameroonian writer and director Dexter Brains. Dexter was born in Cameroon and studied audio-visual graphics in Dubai before finally ended up in America. The movie Patriot was premiered on the 1st of July in Maryland, USA, and it's a true story about the Amazonians in Cameroon, and Dexter was a victim.
The movie The Patriot is not actually tied to some particular brand of movie. It is based on a true story. So it means if you can understand what real happenings are, and then you understand what The Patriot is all about. We didn't just sit overnight and then frame something and then we're trying to put it on a giant screen. No. It is what's happening as we speak right now, and it's what's happening.
According to Dexter, the production of the movie was not an easy one, as the movie was shot in winter, but with the determination of his crew, the movie was successful. Dexter was impressed with the casting. At first, he was not sure of the type of talent that would be part of the movie.
And the worst side of our own case is that we actually shot in winter, in the heart of winter, you know. So there were some days where we were actually shooting in the snow. But one of the most difficult situations that we faced was time management and putting the people together. Basically because we had our casts, they were not just around. We have casts.
To end the weekend news, here once again are the main points. A mysterious fire has engulfed the famous cotton tree located in the central part of Freetown. Church members have launched the New Living Word International Church in Freetown, and residents of George Brook Dwazak have appealed for the expansion of the community water project to enhance water supply. Well, that's all in this edition of the weekend news. On behalf of the news team and the news editor Ibrahim Mansari, I am Kojo Kwafu. For more information, please contact the SLBC. Thanks for your company and good night.